Hello everyone, welcome back to NutriZoo Learning. Imagine a world without tigers, elephants, butterflies, or even flowering plants. Sounds frightening, right? Unfortunately, many species around the world are disappearing at an alarming rate. Scientists have identified four major causes responsible for this rapid loss of biodiversity. Together, these causes are known as Evil Quartet. In today's video, we will discuss habitat loss and fragmentation, over-exploitation, invasion of alien species, and co-extinctions. And at the end, I'll share a simple mnemonic to remember all four causes easily for exams. If you are revising this topic, you can watch at 1.25 speed. Otherwise, stay with me and let's begin. Now let us discuss the first and most important threat to biodiversity, habitat loss and fragmentation. Habitat loss occurs when natural habitats are destroyed or altered, making them unsuitable for living organisms. It is considered the largest cause of biodiversity loss worldwide. One major cause of habitat loss is deforestation. Forests are cleared for human activities, resulting in the extinction of many forest species. And a shocking fact is that tropical rainforests once covered about 14% of the Earth's land surface, but today they cover only about 4%. This drastic reduction has caused the loss of countless plants and animal species. Now we have another cause, conversion of forests into agricultural land. Large areas of forests are converted into agricultural lands, and a famous example is Amazon rainforest, which is often called as the lungs of the planet. Huge portions of Amazon have been cleared for soybean cultivation and cattle grazing. As forests disappear, thousands of species also lose their homes. Another important factor is pollution. Air pollution, water pollution, and soil pollution can degrade the natural habitats. Pollution changes the environmental quality and threatens the survival of many organisms. Even small changes in water or air quality can affect sensitive species. Now let us discuss about habitat fragmentation. Habitat fragmentation occurs when a large habitat is broken into smaller and isolated patches. This may happen due to roads, cities, dams, or other human activities. Fragmentation reduces the population size and restricts movements of organisms. It particularly affects large mammals, migratory birds, and animals requiring large territories. Remember one important point here. Human-induced fragmentation usually leads to extinction also. Now let us discuss the second threat, over-exploitation. Over-exploitation occurs when humans use biological resources faster than they can naturally recover. A simple statement often used is, when need turns into greed, it leads to over-exploitation. Or in other words, excessive hunting, fishing, or harvesting can push species towards the extinction. A classic example of overexploitation is Steller's sea cow. This large marine mammal became extinct because of excessive hunting. Another example is passenger pigeon. Once present in huge numbers, it became completely extinct now due to overhunting. And today, many commercial important marine fishes are facing the same problem. Overharvesting has caused severe declines in fish populations. If exploitation continues without control like this, many more species may disappear in the future. Now let us discuss the third threat, invasion of alien species. Alien species are organisms introduced into a region where they do not naturally occur. Sometimes these introduced species becomes invasive. When that happens, they spread rapidly and harm the native species. One famous example is the Nile perch, which is introduced into Lake Victoria in East Africa. Its introduction caused the extinction of nearly 200 species of native cricket fishes. Another example is African catfish. This species threatens indigenous fish populations by competing for food and resources. Next is carrot grass, scientifically known as Parthenium, is another invasive species. It spreads aggressively and damages the ecosystem. And then we have two important examples, which are lantana, which is also known as Spanish flag, is an invasive weed, and water hyacinth, which is also known as Eichhornia, damages the aquatic ecosystems by covering water bodies and reducing the oxygen levels. Thus, invasive alien species often outcompete native species by reducing the biodiversity. Now let us discuss the fourth threat, co-extinctions. Co-extinctions occur when the Extinction of one species causes the extinction of another species that depends on it. Many species are closely connected in nature. When one disappears, the other may also vanish. Consider a host-parasite relationship. If the host species becomes extinct, the parasite depending on it may also become extinct. And many animals depend on specific plants for food and shelters. If plants disappears, the dependent animal species may also disappear. One of the best examples is the plant-pollinator relationship. If a pollinator becomes extinct, the plant may fail to reproduce. Similarly, if the plant disappears, the pollinator loses its food source. Therefore, extinction of one partner often results in extinction of another. So before we conclude, let's quickly revise the evil quadrant. Habitat loss and fragmentation is the most important cause of biodiversity loss. It includes deforestation, pollution, agricultural expansion, and fragmentation. Next, over-exploitation means excessive use of biological resources. Examples include stellar sea cow and passengers pigeon. Next is invasive alien species, which means non-native species that harm the native species. Examples are Nile perch, African catfish, lantana, and water hyacinth. Next is co-extinctions, which means extinction of one species causes extinction of another dependent species. To remember the evil quadrant, we have one simple mnemonic here. HOIC. H means habitat loss and fragmentation. O means over-exploitation. I means invasive alien species. And C means co-extinctions. HOIC equals to evil quadrant. So, biodiversity is threatened mainly by four factors: habitat loss and fragmentation, over-exploitation, invasion alien species, and co-extinctions. Together, these four causes are accelerating the species extinction across the world. And finally, the mnemonic we have is HOIC. Thank you for learning with NutriZoo Learning. If you found this video useful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you in the next class.